welcome back to my channel. I am back with this week's Teen Mom recap. Before I get started with this week's video, I would love if you would go ahead and subscribe to my channel because I post new videos every single week about the newest episode of Teen Mom the Next Chapter. I recap the newest episode and make it a lot shorter, sweeter, and funnier. So if that's something you'd want to watch, go ahead and subscribe to my channel. And anyway, let's go ahead and get started with this week's video. Tyler is going to California alone for ketamine treatment. He plans to do 2 sessions over 4 days. This time he wants to focus on his suicide attempt as a child. Jesus, they're really getting right into it this episode. Caitlin encourages him to dig deeper into his sexual abuse trauma as well. Next is Leah. She tells her friend about her dad's mini rant on them California liberals. I'm still pissed. It's so embarrassing. He never projected those beliefs on me. He doesn't even remember what he said. Yeah, because he was blitzed on opioids. If that had been a FaceTime call, I'd imagine that he would have looked like this. Leah shows her friend the text exchange with her dad, which reveals that Leah said, "You embarrassed me in front of everybody," which further confirms, to me at least, that what actually pissed her off was him saying all that stuff on camera. Leah spent a lot of years on this show looking raggedy and saying dumb shit, but she clearly has gotten some media training since then. Can't have dad messing up that image. As an ally, I need to stand up. I want to take my girls to a pride parade. Oh yay, another Pride Parade storyline. We definitely didn't already see this with Chelsea. It's almost like MTV is trying to convince us, like, see, this totally isn't a white trash redneck show. We are woke, okay? Ryan got court ordered to do 30 days in rehab. This is the closest that Ryan and Bentley have ever been, so it was really hard on Bentley to hear that. So Ryan started rehab, and then 2 weeks in, he calls me to say he's coming home early. I did not agree with it. Taylor says sarcastically, surely he checked off all the boxes to make sure that he had a plan in place before he left. Oh yes, I'm sure he had a big long checklist. Ditch rehab? Check. Do heroin? Check. In Ryan's confessional, he says, heroin. Using it is rough. It can kill you. And you wouldn't even know it. You just sit down and go to sleep. 4 days after Ryan left rehab, he was found at the side of the road in his car unconscious. He was taken to the hospital for an overdose and had to be given Narcan twice. Then he was arrested again for leaving rehab. Macy says, when I found out, it was the first time I was genuinely scared. All of it is so hard. And Bentley feels that times a million. As a mom, you can't just get out a band-aid and fix this like you want to do. Yeah, I can't imagine how scary this is. This whole season has been like a wild ride with Ryan's addiction journey. And it's sad that how long this has been going on too. I mean, this started like 7, 8 years ago. Possibly more, that just wasn't filmed. Brianna says that she's being very clear of her expectations with Devon. I want you to do homework with the girls, pick them up from school, and get them dinner. Devon says, I paid off my car debt so I can drive again. I can help. And indeed he does. He picks them up, on time for once, and makes some spicy ramen. Brianna even leaves him alone with the girls while she goes to run errands. That homework better be done when I get back. It will be. Plus we have ChatGPT now, so it's a lot easier for Devon to help the girls too. Bar went to California again, this time with a signed paper. They accepted it, and he is sentenced to 24 months of probation. Just say 2 years. It's not a toddler. It's a probation sentence. Ashley says, you need to ask if you can come home to Nevada. I can't. It's 24 months in Cali. Just say 2 years! So I can't leave California without permission for more than 2 days at a time. Well, that's fucked up. I'm sorry. I'm gonna try to stay with my sister out here. I'll be involved as much as I can. Congratulations, Bar. You successfully got yourself out of 2 years of daddy duty. Maybe that was the plan all along. Bar's out here really playing the long game. Leah tells her girls, I talked to my dad about going to rehab. He really struggles with addiction. But you know, when I was on the phone with him, he made a lot of homophobic comments. Like the kind of stuff that really turns off the sponsors. Allie says, I don't want to be around a person who judges other people. Are you going to cut him off? Yeah, I am. Our family includes the gay community. We are allies. And one way to be heard is protesting. We need to get involved in our communities and blah, 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 blah. I'm sorry, Leah went into full PSA mode, and I refuse to listen to it. Does that make me homophobic? Tyler gets to a place called Field Trip, which you must admit is a funny name for a place that focuses on doing a bunch of ketamine. And this doctor looks so familiar to me, and I realized that he was actually on Couples Therapy, which is a delightfully trashy show from the early 2010s. And he was also on that one episode of My Strange Addiction where that bitch only ate cheesy potatoes. This man has a very interesting resume. Tyler tells the doctor that he felt a lot of anxiety when Nova didn't want to wear a tank top. She's the same age that he was when he was abused. He feels like his own sexual identity was robbed from him, and it caused him to be hypersexual, which is the reason that he's on this show, and that he had to do the adoption. Devon helps the girls finish their homework. Daddy, did you go to college? No, honey, no one on this show did. He says, I didn't. I had to work, make money, take care of you, and rob houses with minors. I don't know if I want to go to college. You should. After all, this show is not going to be around forever. Tyler's trying to be a rapper. Leah just got a job as a waitress. Go to college, Nova. Do not end up like Brianna. Speaking of which, Diaper Ass herself comes back home and congratulates Devon on a job well done. He didn't even get blackout drunk this time. Gold star for you, Devon. So, does this mean no more awkward silences between us? I don't know about that. We are becoming friends though, and that's important. Yeah, needs to happen more often. It's been a week since Ryan's overdose. He's in jail with no bond, and it's all over the media. Bentley can't avoid it at this point. What happened? Well, 3 of his charges were dismissed, but 1 was reliant on him staying in rehab, which he didn't do. He called me when he left, you know. He said, I'm leaving, this is too much, I want to do this at home. Ah yes, the Jen and Larry Rehabilitation Center will certainly give the same experience. I think he was also afraid to be away during his divorce proceedings. So he came home, he even showed up at Bentley's baseball game on his own, and him and Taylor even spoke at the game. Then Friday, he overdosed. I have a question, how was Ryan just like roaming around town free for a few days? Like, I'm sure the rehab was supposed to alert the court that, hey, this guy just jumped over the fence and left. Either way, they found him at the side of the road unconscious. He didn't come back into consciousness until he got to the hospital. He really thought that he could come home and be fine. He thinks he's invincible. He might also think that it's more of a cure to be around his loved ones. But that's not really how it works. Bentley always says that he's worried about him. He felt such relief when Ryan was in Texas. And then when I told him that Ryan left rehab, Bentley said, so he's going to jail. Now Bentley's angry. Like, we gave you 10 pieces of the puzzle in the right place already, and you couldn't get the last 5 together? Back to Tyler. Doctor asks, do I have your consent to give you a shot? Yes. You know, I wish my doctors warned me like that before giving me a shot. They just go right in. Anyway, I guess this is like actual ketamine. It's kind of crazy that we're just witnessing this. Like, can he really relax with all these cameras there? Doctor asks him, do you feel floatiness? Are you in touch with your inner child? How old is your inner child? He's 8 years old. I want you to go back to scenes of your childhood. It's gonna be okay. So Tyler's crying, and they basically take him through a guided visualization. He's answering so normally though, like you wouldn't think he's on ketamine. I expect it to be a lot weirder. It's been a challenge with Bar Gone in California. Holly used to actually listen to him, whereas she doesn't listen to me. And my mom has been struggling since my brother died. I feel like I have to be there for her and my sister Rosie. How are you, Mom? You just got back from the grocery store in that zebra blazer? You're living your life. I'm not great. I've been constantly fighting with your dad. I know Rosie is hindered. The house is not stable and she's being overlooked. Send Rosie to spend time with me. She'll lighten my load a little bit too. That sounds like a really good idea. I totally trust you. I'm so sorry for what you're going through, Mom. You're awesome. And thank you for sending me this lovely servant that's gonna do the 2 chores a month that Bar used to do for me. Next is the Gay Pride Parade. Leah's jumping around the house, like just doing way too much. I feel like she's putting on a performance. And then they get in a car, drive around the parade. It's a fun time. Macy gets in touch with the resident addict specialist of Teen Mom, Jade, who tells her to go to Al-Anon meetings. You know, Dr. Drew mentioned that, but I never looked into it. If you're starting to sound like Dr. Drew, that's probably not good. Macy goes to visit Jen. Jen says, I didn't know anything that happened that night until after Ryan woke up. The first thing he texted me was, I should have stayed in rehab. I could hardly shower or get up for days. Now, Ryan just has a court date next Thursday, I guess. Macy says, I need to do my part. I want to give Al-Anon meetings a try. And Jen agrees to go with her too. This is the first time that I allowed myself to feel the pain. It's really hard for me to welcome these feelings. And that's all for this episode of Teen Mom the Next Chapter. What do you think of Ryan? Do you think he has a chance to turn himself around? And do you think Devon is turning around at all? Make sure to leave a comment down below, and make sure to subscribe for more Teen Mom recaps every week.